Have you ever looked at a retreat online and thought, wow, this looks beautiful, but then immediately wondered, how do I know if this is actually good? Because let's be honest, some retreats have really beautiful pictures. Some have exciting itineraries and some have incredible destinations. But few tell you everything you need to know before spending thousands on a week of your life. Last week on the podcast, we talked about something that here at Bucket List Retreats, we believe pretty strongly. A bucket list isn't just about places to go, it's experiences that make you feel fully alive. So, naturally, the next question becomes, how do I choose the right experience? Today, I am sharing the exact framework I use every time I book a retreat. It's also how we will review retreats here on Bucket List Retreats, the podcast. I call it the 5 Bs. Hello, dreamers, believers, and bucket list retreaters. Welcome back to Bucket List Retreats, the podcast. I'm your hostess, Kelly Morgan Murley. And if you are new here, welcome in. This is the place we talk all about our life's hopes and dreams, which often do include travel, but mostly the moments that quietly shift us and cause transformation. If this episode makes you think a little differently about retreats, we would love it if you would subscribe, leave a review, and we are especially flattered when you share it with someone who is dreaming about their next adventure. First of all, thank you for all of the messages after last week's episode from the porch. Today is a super monsoony day, thunder and lightning, so we are not on the porch. It was so fun hearing from different people who said, I have never thought of my bucket list that way. And that really made me and assistant Penelope, our AI assistant, super happy to hear. That's exactly what we hoped would happen. Once we stop thinking of a bucket list as simply a list of destinations, everything changes. Now we are looking for experiences that make us feel more alive. And after I finished filming that episode, one question kept bouncing around in my mind. If our bucket list is really about experiences, how do we know which ones are worth saying yes to? And I can't wait to jump into all of that with you. But first, of course, as always, retreat news and reviews. But retreat reviews, we are going to save until the end of the podcast after we go over the 5 Bs so that we can review this retreat together using the principles that we have just learned. So let's dive into retreat news. And this story is a little awkward because it does involve my favorite assistant, Penelope, known as ChatGPT. This article is found at the Business Insider website and was just published August 3rd, 2026. The article is called OpenAI Hosted Influencers at a Luxury Retreat with Beekeeping. Whee! But the internet backlash was swift. This article is by Ben Shimkus. OpenAI recently invited about 30 content creators to something called OpenAI Summer Camp. And this was no summer camp, with bunk beds, mystery meat, and friendship bracelets. This was held at the Wildflower Farms, a 140-acre luxury resort in New York's Hudson Valley, where weekend rates can reportedly run up to $2,000 per night. So basically, summer camp if you are a billionaire. Okay, so what happened? The creators attended educational sessions about OpenAI's latest tool and working with ChatGPT. There was also some farm to table food and wine, a gorgeous outdoor dinner under the trees. Lovely. OpenAI branded merchandise. Those included canvas bags with jars of honey. The retreat also included outdoor activities. And my favorite detail, which is why they probably got the honey, they had a beekeeping session. I actually would be very interested in that myself. Tell me in the comments, would you? But apparently, nothing says artificial intelligence like putting on a protective suit and searching for the queen bee. But then the internet arrived. The creators, of course, began sharing beautiful footage from the retreat. But the reaction was not exactly what OpenAI probably imagined. People across TikTok, Instagram, Reddit, and X criticized both OpenAI and some of the creators who attended. So let this be a lesson to you if you are a creator out there. Much of the criticism centered around the environmental impact of AI, including concerns about the energy and water use by data centers. Some people accuse OpenAI of greenwashing, using this nature filled retreat to create a softer, greener image for technology that people already have serious environmental questions about. I know I certainly do. Tell me, do you struggle with using OpenAI and what it's doing to our environment? Like I do. One creator even received comments after filming herself preparing a bath, with people pointing out the irony of showing water usage during an OpenAI sponsored event. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. OpenAI told Business Insider that this was an education focused event designed to teach creators about its newest tools. But OpenAI did not confirm if the creators were paid, if their travel and accommodations were covered, or if they were required to post positive things about the retreat. I think those unanswered questions matter because transparency is everything when creators are sharing a brand experience with their audience. My take? I don't think inviting creators to learn about AI is inherently a bad idea. Creators have become educators. They are often the people that are showing the rest of us how new tools actually work in our everyday lives. But this is a really interesting example of how quickly a beautiful retreat can backfire when the experience and the brand's larger public reputation don't feel completely aligned. You've heard me say this before. You can choose the most beautiful destination, plan the most beautiful dinners, hand out adorable jars of honey, and create flawless content. But if people don't trust the reason behind the retreat, beauty alone will not save it. And that brings us rather perfectly into today's conversation about the 5 B's of choosing a retreat, because one of those 5 B's is believability. Do we trust the people behind the experience? Does everything feel transparent? And do the experience, the message, and the people promoting it all feel genuinely aligned? I know that is a lot to ask of your retreat hosts. Believe me, we're doing that right now with our Dominican Republic retreat that we are having in January. So, ladies, if you are interested in getting out of the winter cold and coming down to the beautiful Dominican Republic, check out the retreat link in the show notes. It's going to be so wonderful. But making sure that we share the alignment that I have with the other hosts, Francis and Adriani, and the retreat center. It's a big deal. So we are trying to share that so much. And I hope you will consider coming on retreats, because apparently even a $2,000 a night resort, a glowing logo, and some very hardworking bees cannot manufacture trust. If you want to read the article for yourself, link in the show notes. Weekly, I notice that retreats are everywhere. Nearly every day, I see new ones pop up all over social media, and some are absolutely beautiful. Others leave me scratching my head because I still don't know what they are actually offering. And that's what inspired today's episode because I realized most of us have never really been taught how to evaluate a retreat, or at least their sales page. A lot of us have learned how to compare hotels. We've learned how to compare cruises. We will review restaurants in 2.5 seconds. Somehow, we don't really know how to compare retreats. So let's fix that. I think we need better questions. When most people shop for a retreat, they ask things like, where is it? How much does it cost? How much time off work will I need? And those are some very important questions. But they are not the most important questions because you are not simply buying a vacation. You are investing your time. You are investing your money, your energy, and quite honestly, a piece of your life. So today I want to give you framework that's helped me evaluate retreats for years. The 5 B's. Let's start with B number 1, the basics. When I am looking at the sales page or their web page, can I quickly answer who, what, where, when, why, what's included, what's not included, how many people, how do I get there, what do I need to bring? Because here is something that I have learned. Confusion creates hesitation. Clarity creates confidence. If I have to hunt all over the website just to figure out where the retreat is, that is not a great first impression. The basics should make me feel informed, not confused. And once I understand the retreat, I like to imagine myself there. And that is where the second B comes in. B number 2, beauty. Now, I know that some of you may disagree with me on this, but I think beauty matters. A beautiful retreat, like we said last week, a beautiful retreat deserves a beautiful invitation. The retreat experience begins the moment someone lands on the sales page. Now, I am not talking about expensive websites. I'm talking about intentional websites. I like to see beautiful photography, thoughtful design, and easy navigation. A feeling that someone cared. Because if someone wants me to spend a week inside their vision, show me that vision. Beauty communicates care. And I believe that often reflects the care that someone has put into creating the retreat itself. And then we get practical. B number 3, the benefits. Now I want to know what is included: meals, transportation, activities, classes, support, spa treatments, free time. And really, one of the most important things, does the investment feel worthwhile? Notice I didn't ask, is it cheap? Because as we all know, value and price are two completely different things. I've spent money on experiences that I will remember for the rest of my life. I've also bought things I forgot I owned 6 months later. You? A bucket list experience isn't measured by what it costs. It is measured by what it gives back. Now we move into something much more deeper. B4. B4. Believability. This one is so huge. Do I believe these people? Would I feel comfortable spending a week with them? Do I know who they are? Are they qualified? What do they believe? How will they show up? Because retreats are deeply personal. You are trusting someone with your time off, your emotions, sometimes even your healing. I don't need perfection, but I do need authenticity. The itinerary does not create trust, the people do. And finally, my favorite B, B5, belonging. This is where I think so many retreat pages miss the mark. They spend the page telling me what we will be doing, but very little time telling me what we will become, what I will become. Don't just tell me we are hiking. Tell me why it matters. Don't just tell me there is yoga. Tell me how maybe this yoga teacher will have me feeling afterwards. Don't just tell me we're journaling. Tell me what I'm discovering because people do not buy itineraries. They invest in becoming someone more joyful, more rested, more confident, more connected. This is exactly why we believe retreating isn't escaping your life. It is about returning to it more fully. So, beginning today, every retreat we review here on the podcast, we will evaluate using the 5 B's: basics, beauty, benefits, believability, belonging. And when a retreat checks every single one of those boxes, they will earn something very special: the Bucket List Retreats stamp of approval. I cannot wait to start using it. I think it's going to start making our retreat reviews so much more helpful and a lot more fun. All right, now that we understand the 5 B's, let's put them to work. Okay, we found a retreat called Into Stillness, a yin and restorative retreat offered by Sup Yo Adventures. They offer a lot of cool adventures, so check out their website. Link in the show notes. On this one, they have collaborated with Blossom Yoga and Wellness. It's a 2-night retreat in Bartlett, New Hampshire, November 13 through 15, 2026, with only 10 attendees. If this were my next bucket list experience, would the sales page convince me to book? Let's find out. The page quickly tells me what the retreat is, where and when it's happening, group size, accommodations, itinerary, cancellation policy, and the starting price of $699. That is a strong start. What isn't immediately clear is who the retreat is for. Do I need yoga experience? Is it open to everyone? Can the activities be adapted for different bodies and mobility issues? And what does active level 2 mean? The practical information is there. I need a clearer answer to, is this right for me? So I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10. Next, beauty. The retreat itself sounds lovely. Historic home in the White Mountains of New Hampshire. Fireplaces, bonfires, late autumn walks, yoga, journaling, and plenty of time to rest. The photos and descriptions do help me picture a cozy November weekend. But anyhow, this page is attractive and easy to navigate. I do think the opening could do more to make me emotionally want the experience. A sales page shouldn't just show me where I'm going. It should help me feel how I might be like transformed or different when I return home. So beauty gets an 8 out of 10. Now let's talk the benefits. For $699 and up, guests receive 2 nights of accommodations, 5 meals, yoga, meditations, yoga nidra and sound healing, journaling, gentle outdoor activities, bonfires, and free time. What just popped up in your mind? I know in my mind, I'm like, how the heck can they do all this in a weekend? But whatever. It's a dilemma that I struggle with here at Bucket List Retreats, and that is a weekend retreat. Is it really a retreat? Comment down below. I definitely think it's a getaway. People need getaways, but retreats, I don't believe that you even find yourself until at least the second day on retreats. Anyways, back to this page. Because it does go on to talk about some of the benefits: releasing tension, calming the nervous system, reconnecting with nature, and leaving grounded and restored. But there is one significant pricing question. Private bathroom is listed at $749, while a private room with a shared bathroom is $849. I think something must be swapped there. And that may be a simple typo, but any confusion around money can stop someone just as they are preparing to book. I had that same thing happen on our website the other day. We have on the Dominican Republic retreat that if you want a single to contact us and click this button, and it didn't work. Oh, irritating. But anyways, on this one, I also would like more information about the meals and dietary accommodations. I will give this an 8.5 out of 10 when it comes to benefits. There's a lot of benefits. And finally, on to believability. Supyo Adventures has been around since 2011. The page includes contact information, policies, liability waivers, and 7 reviews. One testimonial came from a guest who was afraid to spend the weekend with strangers but felt welcomed immediately. That addresses a real concern and builds trust. A couple of small things that are missing for me is a proper introduction to the facilitators. Who are Jane and Amy anyways? What are their qualifications? Why did they create this retreat? When someone is trusting you with their bodies, their time, their emotions, their money, they do need to know a lot about the people that are running the experience. So I will give believability a 7.5 out of 10. And now belonging. With only 10 guests, shared meals, welcoming and closing circles, bonfires, walks, and free time. This feels like an experience where a connection could happen naturally. But I would speak more directly to the person coming alone. Tell me that solo guests are welcome. Tell me what other guests might be like. Help me imagine walking into the house and finding my place within the group. Belonging begins long before the guests arrive. It begins when they recognize themselves on the sales page. So I'm giving belonging 8 out of 10. Final score, this retreat gets 40 out of 50 from the podcast. Would I keep scrolling down to the bottom of the page once I hopped on this retreat? Absolutely. Would I consider booking? Yes, especially if I lived within driving distance and wanted a restorative retreat before the holidays. Before booking, I would want the room price clarified and more information on the facilitators. This does appear to be a strong retreat with clear purpose. A few thoughtful changes could make the retreat seem more restorative, the sales page more trustworthy, which is more welcoming as the experience promises. And that is exactly why the 5 Bs matter. So now I want to hear from you. Which of the 5 Bs matter most to you when you are deciding if a retreat is right for you? Basics, beauty, benefits, believability, and belonging. Leave me a comment and tell me. And if you know someone dreaming of creating a retreat or attending one, please share this episode with them. Be sure to follow this podcast wherever you are listening and subscribe on YouTube so you don't miss what's coming next. Because a bucket list isn't just about places you go. It's about the experiences that make you feel alive. And remember, retreating isn't about escaping your life. It's about returning to it more fully alive than when you left. And as always, friends, thank you so much for tuning in today. I love talking retreats with all of you. Keep retreating, keep exploring, and we will see you on the next adventure. Bye-bye.
love you, Gaga.